It's now recording. Action. It's gonna make it into the cut, you know.
No way.
Yeah, way. Hi everybody, welcome back to the stash. My name is Jess and I am the owner and dyer at Skein and the Stitch, which is a hand-dyed yarn company based in West Yorkshire, England. And today we're going to talk about my experience vending at East Anglia Yarn Festival, which was East Anglia this past weekend. So I'm shooting this video on Wednesday, the 19th of March, and I wanted to show you what I got at the yarn show, talk a little bit about my experience, and show you some of the footage I got from my stand and also some other vendors while I was there. So let's talk about the prep for East Anglia. It was my first show back, and I think 2 years of vending. I took some time off because I have 2 young children and it just was really hard to prepare and go to shows with little kids at home. And now that my son is in nursery full-time, preparing for the show and being away for the weekend seemed like it was a little bit of an easier thing for me and my family to tackle. So I kind of dipped my toe back and I thought EAYF would be like the perfect show to do that, because Laura's a great organizer. I always feel really well taken care of, and it turned out to just be the perfect show for me to dip back into the show circuit again. So the drive, so I loaded my car up on the Friday before the show. So setup was from 1:30 to like 5:30 the day before. So I drove from my home, West Yorkshire, like Wakefield area, and I got to the venue around 2:30, and it took me about a couple hours to get everything out of the car, to get everything loaded up and mostly ready to go on the Saturday morning, because I like to come in on the Saturday kind of ready to rock. So I want everything like set up, ready to go. So it takes me a while to just put everything where it needs to be, you know, aesthetic. I want everything to look really nice and really pretty. So the show was ready to go, and the show started on Saturday at 10 o'clock. So I was there about an hour before to kind of just tweak things, say hi, make myself a cup of tea, you know, just get ready for the day. And then the doors open and we were off. It was really busy. I know that Laura puts a significant amount of time and money into advertising the show, and it totally pays off because every year she sells more and more tickets, and I believe that she sold more tickets this year than she did the year before, which is great, and it's a trend that's been going on, and she just does amazing, and I can't complain. It's a very well-run show, very well advertised. Everything from my perspective went really smoothly, and kudos to Laura. It was a great show, and I would vend there again in a heartbeat. So if you're a business and you're considering a UK show that you'd like to vend with, I highly recommend EAYF. Laura does a fantastic job. Not only is she a great organizer, she's just like a really good friend, and she's a wonderful person. So 10 out of 10, recommend EAYF and Laura specifically. And it was just a really great weekend. It was really lovely. I met so many of my customers in real life, lots of chats. And of course, my favorite thing about vending at shows is hanging out with fellow vendors. So during the show, after hours, you know, we having dinner and drinks together, just chatting and getting to know friends even better, meeting new friends. So it's a really great time from our perspective to spend that time together. And I think a lot of people don't realize is that a lot of vendors are friends behind the scenes. We know each other, or we see each other. So the UK yarn community is actually not as big as you would believe. So everybody kind of just knows everybody, which is great. I was next to, my booth was on the corner on the end, and the other side of my booth was next to Sierra from Ballyhora Fibres, and actually we were vending together at Flock. I will make a video about Flock, the show in Seattle this summer that I'm going to be going to, and she and I are booth buddies, so we're sharing a booth there. And yeah, I'll talk more about that concept later. But Laura put us next to each other because she knows we're going to be booth buddies at Flock, and she wanted us to hang out over the weekend, which was really cool. So getting to spend that time with Sierra again was awesome. And yeah, the show was really wonderful. And I just can't recommend it enough. So I have a couple of clips of my booth and other fellow vendors' booths that I will show you so you can kind of see the vibe of the show. These clips were taken on Sunday morning before the show opened, because contrary to popular belief, I don't get to leave my booth, my stand during the show. I stay there, and I obviously am in charge of selling the products I brought. So whether it's like a little short toilet break or some food, I kind of just stick on my stand. So I don't really get to see a lot of the show. So before the doors open on Sunday, I checked my camera, I took some videos, not as many as I wanted to take, and I didn't get everyone's booths I really wanted to see to show you. So I'm sorry if you're watching this and you're my friend and your booth is not represented. I really tried, but I didn't get around to everybody. So I thought I would give you a little haul. I don't have time to shop during the show, so usually what I'll do is I'll swap, or I'll go around before the show, and while we're setting up, and I'll make a little purchases or like set stuff aside to come back and pay later. So that's what I did. So the first thing I want to show you is this really beautiful braid of BFL from Sierra Ballyhor Fibres. Sarah will laugh when she sees this because it was really nicely like swirled together and it fell apart in my bag, and I can't for the life of me make it swirl nice like she had it on her stand. So this is her colorway Giant's Causeway on BFL. This is 100% BFL right here. It's beautiful. It's like this midnight blue black tone. It's like really deep and saturated. So I have no idea what I'm going to make with this. I'm going to spin it up into something, but yeah, 100% BFL, stunning. We swapped for this. So that's another thing. I love a good swap. So I traded her some of my new Fibre blend, which I will talk about later, for this. So yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. And another acquisition I made was from Needle and Fred. The lovely Libby runs this stand, and I love all the colorways. They're beautiful, they're earthy. She does really warm tones very well, so like gold and reds, oranges, and some purples. She does beautiful colorways, and she also has some really nice bases. Well, she has dyed some fiber, and she was kind of in my eyesight as I was setting up my booth, and I saw her putting up the fiber, and I was like, I think I have to get some of this. And so this beautiful braid of fiber is alpaca, BFL, and Polworth. So it feels beautiful and soft, and like, look at the color. The purples going into these just beautiful like autumnal colors. I had to have it, so this came home with me. And then Tom Dyson Woodworking was the booth behind me, and he sells all sorts of like notions, woodworking buttons, and like stitch markers. And this is a wraps per inch calculator. I don't know if the camera is going to focus on this. Will you? Yes, you will. So this is a wraps per inch calculator. It has the US and UK measurements, which is pretty cool. And because I'm a new spinner, I thought it would be a really useful tool to have. And also, he sanded it really, really nicely, so it's very smooth, which I really like. So highly recommend checking out his stuff. And last but not least, this is going to be really tough for me to show on camera, but every time I go to a show and Hannah from the Corner of Craft is vending, I always get stitch markers from her. She does these gorgeous beaded stitch markers. I probably have, like, I'm not kidding, about 10 or 12 of these. I just can't stop. She does such a beautiful job. They're so cute and they're really light, and they go on like, every single whip of mine has at least one of Hannah's stitch markers on them. I'm just a fan. And I will never stop being a fan. So I got 2 from her this year. So this one, I don't know if the camera's gonna focus on this. Let's see if it will. It's a little donut. Come on, camera. You wanna do it? Oh no. I'm gonna have to take a photo and put it in the thing, but it's like a little beaded donut. It's a white donut with sprinkles on it. It was so cute. These have backing cards, but I took them off the backing cards immediately because they're going on whips. So that's why there's no nice backing card for me to hold on to. So this is a little fish. Oh, come on, get, please. Oh, it's not. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a photo of this and put it into the video so you can see the stitch markers. It's like a little tiny fish. It's the cutest thing I think I've ever seen. So that is the last thing I purchased. So those 4 items were the only acquisitions I got at the show. Contrary to popular belief, because I don't really buy a lot of yarn and fiber. I mean, I do have a significant amount, but I also dye it. So I tend to be quite sparing with my purchases because my stash can very quickly become overwhelmed. So I try to pare it down. It also helps that I'm working all weekend, so I don't really have time to shop. So when everybody else is shopping, I'm in my booth, so that kind of helps me to not shop a ton and to be a little bit more mindful of the things that I'm purchasing. So I keep thinking, is there something I would do differently for the show? And the answer is not really. I think in retrospect, I wouldn't have prepared as much yarn. I was really nervous about not having enough, so I overcompensated. And actually on my booth, there was a big long table. Underneath that table was a full bag of yarn that never got put out. It didn't need to get put out. I just kind of panicked, prepared a bunch of yarn, which is great because it's now in my shop for future updates. So I will be like listing everything so that it's something that I can use in the future. But did I need to have it for the weekend? No. So, I mean, that's like it's not even a regret. It's something I think I would change going forward is, you know, limit the amount of skeins I prepare, because at a certain point then you don't really need it, which means I could have stopped a dye date earlier, but you know, there we are. Anyway, that is my review and my weekend at East Anglia Yarn Festival. I had such a great time. Thanks again to Laura and the team for a wonderful weekend. I can't say enough good things about her and yeah, the time away. So thank you so much for checking out my podcast. My name is Jess. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel for more. See you on the next one.